Hello and welcome to Galaxy TV News. My name is Eriba Mr. Lako. We begin with headlines. Nigerian Ministry of Education launches Panegyric, a poetic tradition aimed at promoting creativity and cultural heritage. Plus on the news, Nigerian Army Council approves promotion of 108 senior officers of the Major General to the Major General and Brigadier General ranks. From the international scene, at least 8 refugees and migrants drowned off the coast of Greece after the boat guard chased the boat they were on in the Aegean Sea. Details of these and more coming your way soon. Just stay with us. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now, details of the news. The Nigerian Ministry of Education has taken a significant step towards promoting creativity and cultural heritage in the country's education system. Correspondent Kaleojo reports that the Panegyric, a poetic tradition deeply rooted in Nigeria's cultural heritage, is a unique form of art that exposes students to the beauty of the arts. The Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, represented by Senior Special Assistant Dr. Ismaila Adiatu, explained that by embracing this fusion of knowledge and creativity, students will develop essential skills to tackle global challenges.
The competition not only promotes our cultural values, but also fosters national unity, peace, creativity, eloquence, and healthy competition among our students across Nigeria. As we honor the act of the praise, let us also celebrate the power of education in shaping the future of our nation.
Speaking in the same vein, the Minister of State for Education, Dr. Suwaiba Said Ahmed, and the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Dr. Ibrahim Sani Gwazo, highlighted the importance of the initiative to the intellectual development of students, stressing that it would enable the youth to develop enterprising skills.
We gather not only to celebrate eloquence and the art of rhetoric, but also to prosper a culture of scientific inquiry and technological advancement with a shared vision of innovation, critical thinking, and inspired expression among our youth. A commitment deeply rooted in our national vision for progress, which is in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR.
And development in any society. And events like this serve as a testament to the importance of fostering a holistic approach to learning. While we often emphasize the significance of science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, and my minister added medicine, education, it is equally imperative to recognize and appreciate the role of arts.
Now to other stories. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice has fought the suspension of local government chairmen in Edo State by Governor Monday Okpebholo. The 18 local government chairmen and vice chairmen were placed on suspension on December 17 by the State House of Assembly at the instance of the governor. Governor Okpebholo had accused the chairmen and their deputies of insubordination and misconduct of the grounds. Loju reports that Fagbemi said that under the current dispensation, local government chairmen cannot just be removed or suspended by any governor without following due process of the law.
What you read on pages of newspapers may not necessarily be what informed the decision. But one thing that I know, and I can say without any fear, is that under the present dispensation, no governor has the right to remove any local government chairman. That much I know. If I didn't know, since July 11, 2024, I became aware of it. that removal of any local government chairman or official will be the prerogative of that local government through their legislative house. Thank you.
And now joining us to talk on this matter, we have Chief Robinson Ariyo, a legal practitioner as well as a public affairs analyst. He joins us from Warri to speak on suspension of the 18 local government chairmen in Edo State by Governor Monday Okpebholo, as well as other issues. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us at this time.
A very good evening. I really appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So the Attorney General of the Federation, like in the reports we just saw earlier, faulted the suspension of 18 local government chairmen in Edo State, saying it should have been the responsibility of local government legislative arm. How would you react to this?
Well, the problem we have is that not until a competent court of law pronounces on this issue, we may not be able to lay it to rest. And that, to me, aligns with the thinking of the legal realism school of thought that says that what actually becomes the law eventually is the pronouncement of the court. Now, the Attorney General is right in his putting to express whatever views he has expressed, but that does not make it law. In other words, I am thinking that the situation we have in Nigeria today, vis-a-vis the Constitution, particularly Section 7, subsection 1 of the Constitution, which is still there, creates that opening, creates the problem, creates the issue with who actually is the Africans, and indeed Africans. We are not democratic in nature. We are monarchical. And so the president wants to see himself as the father of the legislative arm, as the father of the judiciary. For instance, recall that when the legislative arm at the national level wanted to pick their officers, many of those aspirants ran to the president to get endorsement for the president. And this also is replicated at the state level. You find out that in order for many aspirants to be able to sustain their position at the different legislative levels, they have to kind of take the governor as their maker. In other words, what I'm trying to say in essence is that we are not as democratic as we theoretically portray ourselves to be.
What needs to be done in ensuring that governors obey the Supreme Court and do the needful in the state?
The obedience of court judgment is not, let me put it this way, the disobedience of court judgment is not the preserve of just the state governors. Even the federal government itself does not obey court judgments. Federal agencies do not obey court judgments. I'll give an example. A judgment was delivered in 2003 that the legal structure and of wards in Warri Federal Constituency, particularly in Warri South, should be 10 and not 12. Between 2003 and date, nothing has been done regarding that pronouncement of the court. Now, the judgment of a court, whether it's impression that perhaps it is just one layer of government that is involved in this scene, is very, very misleading. It is the entire, in fact, the entire country. Go out there, look at what people are doing, even in the face of, you discover, use whatever it has to ensure that that judgment does not see the light of day. And you see, not until persons who are guilty of disobedience of court orders are made to suffer the consequences of disobedience of these court orders, things will not change. And so we must, both right from the top to the bottom, we believe in obeying the law. You see, it is not the law that somebody will accuse another person of an offense and become the judge, like you have in Edo State, for instance. The government wakes up and says that the local government, the 18 local government chairmen have been guilty of insubordination. You are the accuser and you are the prosecutor. That is against the principle of natural justice. That is against the principle of enshrined in Section 36 of the Constitution. But the point I'm trying to make is that it is not just a thing with the state. It's a national problem. It's a thing that transcends the state to the federal, to federal agencies. I give you an example of a judgment that was delivered in 2003. 2003 till date is 20-something years. Up till now, INEC is yet to obey that judgment. And INEC is proud to flout that order. So it is not just, let us not create the impression that it must be a Supreme Court judgment first before we start obeying it. Once there is a judgment, in as much as there is no order for stay of that judgment, you ought to obey the judgment. And it has become a virus.
Hussein Ario, a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst, who joined us live from Warri. Now moving on to other stories. The Nigerian Army Council has approved the promotion of 108 senior officers of the Major General and the Brigadier General rank, according to a statement on Friday by the Director of Army Public Relations, Major General Onyema Nwachukwu. The list includes 35 Brigadier Generals elevated to Major Generals and 73 Colonels promoted to Brigadier Generals. Among the newly promoted Major Generals are officers holding critical command and staff position. Notable names include the Acting General Officer commanding 8th Division and Commander Sector 2 Northwest Operation First and Yama, Brigadier General Ibikunle Ajose, the Commander Nigerian Army Space Command, Brigadier General UG Ugeleka, among others. For the rank of the Brigadier General, notable promotions include the Commander 43 Engineers Brigade, Colonel S.M. Iliya, the Commander 78 Supply and Transport, Colonel O. Igwe, the Chief Medical Director for the 4 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital, Colonel Ernest Onuchukwu, among others. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, urged the newly promoted officers to redouble their efforts, justify their elevation, and lead by example. No fewer than 3 policemen and 1 suspect were killed in a fatal road accident that reportedly occurred on the Benin-Ore Ijebu-Ode Expressway in Ore, the headquarters of Odigbo local government area of Ondo State. It was guarded